G'day, Lauren Kress, the business scientist here. So you've probably arrived at this video because you're searching for what to do next if you've realized that you hate your job. And I just want to start off by acknowledging that you could hate your job for a bunch of reasons, and this could be making you feel lots of different things. You might be feeling stressed out, confused, anxious. You might be feeling quite excited and elated. You might be terrified and sort of feel really lost or really stuck. Or you might be resigned to the fact that you're kind of like, okay, I hate my job, but so what? Like, doesn't everyone hate their job? And you wouldn't be too far off the mark there. Actually, a lot of people are feeling disengaged with work. According to a Gallup poll from 2020, about 15% of people were actively engaged in the work they do, leaving 85% of people feeling disengaged and often unrecognized and feeling like they don't want to turn up to work in the morning. So today I'm going to take you through a 7-step decision-making process that I've talked about in another YouTube video, but we're going to look at this specifically in relation to this issue, if this is coming up for you. So the first step is to recognize, define, and clarify the problem for yourself. So you're going to be thinking about, like, is there a problem? What is the problem specifically? And how urgent is this problem? And what I want you to do is take a piece of paper or grab your journal and divide that page down the middle. On one side, I want you to write down everything that's working for you in your current job. What are the things that is something that you would want to have in the future? And then I want you to write down all the things that aren't working for you on the other side. And this is going to really help you understand where that problem is and help you to guide sort of that problem statement that we want to write down. Another thing that could be helpful is a podcast episode I did recently on what you should do if you hate your job. And we talk through sort of these 5 different aspects of what it takes for a job to be satisfying based off Seligman's PERMA model. So that includes positive emotion, engagement, recognition, meaning, and achievement. So if you want to dive into this a little bit more and understand more about what this problem is for you and where those gaps are, highly recommend having a listen to that. From there, you're going to write down your problem statement. So for instance, it could be something like, I like my job, but my boss is causing me a lot of stress and anxiety. Or it could be, I want more meaning and fulfillment in the work that I do. Step 2 is we need to establish some realistic goals. And to do that, we need to think about what is in your control. This is important for making sure that you don't fall into the drama triangle, something that I've talked about previously. And again, I'll put the link in the description below. But what can happen is if we feel like everything is out of our control, we can end up playing the victim role in that drama triangle. So things that are in your control could be things like voicing concerns with your manager, volunteering for new projects, learning how to address bullies at work, or asking for support if you've got a really heavy workload. But things that aren't in your control is like to make yourself just feel differently about it without changing anything, or to try to change your boss's personality. What we want to do is basically define what that goal is for you, for what you want to achieve. So maybe it's something like, I want to be able to enjoy and look forward to going to work at my current job. Or maybe it's, I need to find more meaningful work. This career isn't what I want. I want to find something that's more meaningful and fulfilling. Step 3 is we're going to now start brainstorming options to achieve that goal. So here you want to kind of like, there's no wrong or right answers in a brainstorm. So it might be like you're thinking, okay, I could keep my job, even if you're like, I really don't want to keep my job. That is an option, right? That is one possible solution. So you could go, I could keep my job, I could quit my job like right now, tomorrow I could write my resignation letter. I could try to find a new job first before I resign. I could do nothing. I could turn a side project into a business. I could start a revenue generating side project. There's so many things that you could do. I want you to write them all down. And it's important that we let our creative brain do the work here. So again, it's not about analyzing what's better or worse. We just want to bullet point everything down that we can think of, thinking outside of the box. Step 4 is to take a look at the pros and cons. So, what are the potential outcomes of each solution? What are the risks? What could be the benefits? There's a video I did on MBTI decision making, or the Z model, and in it we look at 4 different sort of angles you can consider to help you make your decision. So, from the sensing perspective, which is like, what are the facts? From an intuitive perspective, what outcomes do I imagine if I implemented this solution? From the thinking perspective, what are the pros and cons? And from a feeling perspective, what impact will this decision have on others? Step 5 is to decide on a course of action. So, what is appropriate and what's going to be feasible for you? Then, step 6 is to implement your solution, whether that's picking up the phone to call a friend or book in an appointment. Maybe you need to update your LinkedIn profile or start reaching out to people on Facebook, or maybe it involves creating content on YouTube. Whatever it is, whatever your solution is going to be, you need to make sure that you start the ball rolling. And the key word here is momentum. So think about this as if you're running an experiment. You don't necessarily know exactly what's going to happen. You've had a bit of a hypothesis, a bit of your best guess, and now you're taking action to see what happens. And then the final step, step 7, is to evaluate the outcome. So again, thinking about this like a scientist, how did it go? Let's review the data. What information do you now have to help you learn from it and make your next decision? So think about, what did I learn? What will I do from here? The key thing to understand about this is about continual growth and improvement. This is something I talked about on another recent episode of my show, Purpose Driven, where we looked at fixed versus growth mindset. If you want to check that out, I'll put the link in the description. That's it from me for today. If you like this video, please like and share it with someone that you know would benefit from it. And also remember to subscribe to my channel.